It's that time of year, January, the time when studios decide to drop a bunch of movies at the last minute to either keep them fresh in the minds of the Academy voters or to get out the dross in a period when movies never really make any money. Into this period is the release of The Housemaid, the latest big screen offering from Paul Feig, whose credits have been somewhat less than inspiring since the hullabaloo of his 2016 blockbuster remake Ghostbusters. This is an adaptation of the novel of the same name by Freida McFadden, which, being a psychological thriller, is a bit of a deviation from the usual genre Feig is known for. It stars Sydney Sweeney as Millie, who somehow managed to become one of the biggest names in Hollywood despite her most famous role being in one of the biggest and most lampooned flops of recent years. Nina is played by Amanda Seyfried, whose recent releases have been somewhat more worthy and under the radar since her big year of 2018 when she starred in Gringo, Anon, and Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Parolee Millie gets a job as a live-in maid with the wealthy Winchester family, living in an attic room locked from the outside. Nina Winchester shows signs of extreme mental illness and puts Millie into impossible situations for which she is punished. A housemaid from another family tells her that Nina had tried to kill her daughter Cece, then herself, and that she spent numerous spells in psychiatric hospitals over the years. After asking Millie to arrange a stay and theatre tickets in New York for her and her husband Andrew, she then denies ever making the request. But when she takes Cece away for ballet camp, husband Andrew and Millie decide to go to New York and the show where, after Millie receives numerous angry texts from Nina, Andrew initiates you-know-what, and eventually this leads to Nina being thrown out and Millie taking her place. We learn why Nina is as disturbed as she has been, and the truth behind her attempt to take her daughter's life. We find out about the ordeal she endured in the attic, and the real reason why Millie was hired for the job. We learn the true nature of Andrew, as the plot comes to a crashing end of blood and bruises. This movie was made on a relatively small budget of $35 million, which is a dimension away from the $144 million Feig was given to play with to reboot Ghostbusters. That flopped with a worldwide box office of $230 million, but The Housemaid has already smashed that, already hitting over $240 million, which, given the small budget, makes it a huge win for Feig. This is the first movie starring Sydney Sweeney I've ever seen, and I liked her. She was convincing as a down-and-out former convict who's fallen into a situation in which she feels trapped. Amanda Seyfried is excellent as a psychotic wife of a tech millionaire CEO who's dealing with long-standing issues of control, manipulation, isolation, and wearing a mask in local society. Brandon Skelner as Andrew is pretty nondescript for most of the runtime, but that's how he needs to be until the end, so he does a great job there. There's also a small number of supporting characters who all pull their weight, including the three wives who are comical stereotypes of wealthy suburban housewives with overinflated opinions of themselves. They do well to show how easy it is for bad people to pull the wool over the eyes of everyone around them. The characters are sympathetic and portrayed exactly how they need to be. I genuinely felt for both women. Millie had a lot to deal with and was forced to put up with a lot due to her circumstances. Nina jumped from calm to manic, and I can easily switch between pity and hate. Paul Feig has done a great job with this. There's nothing special about the cinematography, but that's okay. I wouldn't say it's flat, but it's not particularly interesting either. That's a good thing though. This movie does not need any special stylistic choices. The plot stands on its own merit thanks to the screenplay by Rebecca Sonnenschein, and obviously the source material gave her a significant advantage. There is plenty of foreshadowing that gets big payoffs in the end, and there's no fat in the scenes. Everything moves the plot along. I do think there was at least one question left unanswered at the end, but that's not such a bad thing either. The ending is left open, with a little bit of sequel baiting. That makes sense as the original novel is book one of a trilogy, and judging by the budget to gross ratio, it seems just a matter of time before The Housemaid's Secret and The Housemaid is Watching are adapted. All in all, this is a terrific movie and a great start to a new year of cinema that really needs to be better than the parade of dross from last year. There's plenty to look forward to in the coming months, and if this is an indicator for the rest of the year, then money spent on tickets and concessions will be more than worth it.